Welcome, dear friends, to the 6th episode of the Interior Castle. We have in the last episode elaborated on the necessity of prayer to enter into the lower levels of this castle in the first mansion. We know very well that a palace is always guarded against any type of enemy attacks. It is a normal fact that bungalows of presidents and ministers and important personalities are well protected through surveillance cameras, soldiers, guards, and other necessary means of protection. When we go on a journey, we are confronted with multiple hurdles and obstacles. That is also a fact. We are always distracted and tempted on the way. The forces of the evil one are always at work to divert the efforts of a soul away from the path to God. We are speaking of entering into the interior castle. It is very important that a person should have recourse to God, the Blessed Mother, and the saints for help in their struggle against temptations and distractions. This is what the Holy Mother Church always recommends her sons and daughters to recourse to the holy people's intercession. She also says that hardly any light makes its way from the center room where God makes his abode into these outer rooms. What Teresa wants to tell is at the very center of our heart, there is the Blessed Trinity dwelling, God of light. Those who have entered these rooms have so many preoccupations, what Teresa calls snakes, vipers, and poisonous creatures, that they are prevented from seeing the light. For this reason, those who seek to progress in self-knowledge and humility and who truly wish to make their way into the second mansions would do well to simplify their lives and put all unnecessary business aside. Teresa expresses with all imagery possible the condition of the soul when it starts entering the first room of the castle. Even though they are not dark and black as when the soul is in sin, they nevertheless are in some way darkened so that the soul cannot see the light. The darkness is not caused by a flaw in the room, for I don't know how to explain myself, says Saint Teresa, but so many bad things like snakes and vipers and poisonous creatures that enter with the soul and don't allow it to be aware of the light. It's as if a soul were to enter a place where the sun is shining but be hardly able to open its eyes because of the mud in them. The room is bright, but it doesn't enjoy it because of the impediment of things like these wild animals or beasts that make it close its eyes to everything. That is our attachments, the worldly concerns and our worries and tensions and our relationship with the world, our deep-seated desire for things of the world. Even though it may not be a bad state, it is so involved in worldly things and so absorbed with its possessions, honor, or business affairs, as I have said, says Saint Teresa, that even though as a matter of fact it would want to see and enjoy the beauty of these things, they do not allow it, nor does it seem that it can slip free from so many impediments. If people are to enter the second dwelling places, it is important that they strive to give up unnecessary things and business affairs. It is an adventure of love that excludes all other type of love. It is a focus that does not aim at any other person or thing than God himself. So, if we want to live, we must have no permanent abode. We must have no place to rest our head. We must flow with it, as if great Confucius said, the one who would be constant in happiness must frequently flow. We cling to things in the past and cling to things in the present when we set our hand to the plow, and we cannot look back. The presence of the soul in the first mansion is a gratuitous gift, not merited but freely given. You shouldn't want to know anything else than the fact that although the very sun that gave the soul so much brilliance and beauty is still in the center, that is God, the soul is as though it were not there to share these wonderful things. Yet it is as capable of enjoying His majesty as crystal capable of reflecting the sun's brilliance. Nothing helps such a soul, and as a result, all the good works it might do while in mortal sin are fruitless for the attainment of glory. Interior Castle, First Mansion, Chapter 2, Paragraph 1. The soul must make effort to respond to all the good that it gets from God, refraining from mainly mortal sin. Inside the castle, however, we find the brilliance and the brightness of God, but we are trying our best to come closer to that brightness. This is not easy to do. Give up being a pessimist, give up thinking of life that draws you lower. Give up being lazy and wishing things were easier at all the time. In short, give up wishing your life were other than the way it is and do something with the life you have. Reaching for your interior riches requires that you love or appreciate at least part of your life, that you are striving to make the most of your life, and that you recognize that life is a wonderful gift. The interior treasure is not difficult to find, but your own worthiness and appreciation of your life may be difficult for you to find, and that's the raw truth. Now we are journeying towards not only to the center of the castle, but at the same time, as we journey, we discover ourselves. You are now in the energy field of the first mansion. Here your soul begins its journey towards self-knowledge, illumination, and God knowledge. You will come to know, feel, and recognize your soul by working on the spiritual and earthly challenges contained within each room. Each challenge or spiritual exercise has a significance and purpose essential to the evolution of your soul towards the center. One room at a time, you increase your self-knowledge and refine it slowly and gradually. The first three challenges you face in this mansion are power, control, and the ego. Teresa led her nuns into the first mansion through the door of humility, a subject she continually emphasized in her teachings, especially in The Way of Perfection, and in this book too, and a concern of many other great spiritual teachers. There is no more appropriate place to begin. Now, what are the practical conclusions we can have in this moment of entering into the first mansion? The first mansion holds the potential for illumination. It also contains darkness because at this lower level, the soul is still attached to earthly powers, earthly inclinations, and attachments. The external world creates internal chaos and seduces the intellect, pulling it into two different directions, confronting it with two different value systems, two different devotions, two different loyalties, and creates a conflict between earthly and divine reality. As Jesus said, you cannot serve God and mammon. Seduction of the intellect to Teresa is the same as what Buddha called quote-unquote illusion. The medieval mystics cloistered themselves and severed most ties to the outer world, but we will continue to live in the world. We cannot run away from the world. We must be in the world, and we must be able to journey inwards into the interior castle of our life. Life is a real battle. We need to find ways and means of battling the external forces of power, honor, lust, craze for wealth, etc. For this reason, the first mansion is where you dialogue with your soul about the tension and chaos created by the pull of these two worlds. How does this chaos control our life? How do we use it to our benefit and to others' detriment? For instance, people create chaos to avoid hearing the truth. You may be one of these individuals, or you may be in an unlawful relationship with such a person. Ultimately, we all must be afraid of the evil one, the devil, who conquers us step by step until we may not even realize our fall. Quote, "There is a host of things the devil can do to cause us harm. He enters little by little until he is done the harm we don't recognize him." Unquote. Interior Castle, First Mansion, Chapter 2, Paragraph 15. Hunger for God must be translated into our daily desire for Him, looking for Him in every detail of our existence, like a thirsty person who has only one goal: to quench his or her thirst. We live in a world of distractions. At times we become so hectic, living a rat race without knowing where we go, why we live, and perhaps even not fully understanding what is the real goal of our life. Often we try to live for the immediate short-lived victories or thrills. They fade away, and often we are left alone to deal with all the mess we have created for ourselves. How often we have taken some decisions which have caused us lifelong damage just for the sake of a momentary thrill or pleasure. Teresa simply states that prayer helps us enter into ourselves, ponder the real purpose and goal of our life. We will discover more secrets of this mansion in the next episode. Till then, let's live this exciting journey into our interior castle, the castle where our God lives perennially and shedding its light, His light into our hearts. Let us search for Him, let us look for Him, let us desire Him, and that is the whole goal and purpose of the interior castle. As we journey towards the center of this castle, we will discover multiple dimensions and dynamics that can help us understand the state of our soul, and this journey will be an exciting one if we really take to our heart that it is worth looking for the foundation and the base of our existence. That is, we are created for God. Until we come to Him, we will be restless in our daily life. God bless you.